Previously on TVSins.
There must exist certain words in a certain specific order that would explain all of this, but with her, I just can't ever seem to find them.
You had me at hello.
Walking Dead episode opens with still shots of nature and the sounds of wind and crickets cliché. And since the last episode I sinned opened up with a helicopter, I might as well add a Walking Dead episode opens with a shot of a helicopter cliché. Funny how when the show doesn't need the walkers to be a threat, they just lumber in the background, but as soon as the show needs the tension dialed up, then get unavoidable and ferocious. This watch indicates that time is moving very, very fast, but I've watched this show enough to know that unfortunately the opposite is true. I know we've mentioned clothes before, but this episode has the audacity to imply that somehow even the boxers showing above my saggy jeans guy would somehow still have his pants on. Is Michonne hiking those up for him every 5 minutes? The Marvel zombie origin story of Hawkeye somehow makes it into this episode. Also, what are the chances that in all these zombie apocalypse scenarios there are this many people left that are exceptional with a bow and arrow? I mean, conservatively, what's the percentage of people in the world that are experts with a bow and arrow? 3%? 8%? I'm not looking that up, but I'm guessing the chances of coming up on random people that can hit a zombie in the eye every time they draw back is slim to none, especially in Atlanta. Now, Janine, I said, reach for him as if you hadn't had a body to eat for days, maybe even weeks. This isn't the half-assing dead last time I checked. What is he waiting for here? He knows the guy's a zombie, so why wouldn't he just stab him already? Does he know Andrea and Michonne are watching him, and he will have to explain that no matter how you die, you turn into a zombie rule later? Because that's honestly the only way the sequence makes sense. He flat out murders a group of military men who are very much alive later in this episode without blinking an eye. Seriously, they're acting like they still haven't noticed them? They certainly saw or heard Michonne Samurai Tweedledead and Tweedledeader just then, so why wait?
Oh, holy Bonnie.
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, convenient world.
How's about a big hug for your old pal Merle?
A full minute of Andrea floating in and out of consciousness. It's exactly the kind of hardcore zombie action that has made this show a can't miss for years.
Where are we? That's not for me to say.
Why not? You can't just say this is Woodbury or anything along those lines. There are more creative ways to draw out suspense than just having characters be dodgy with pronoun games and refusing to answer simple questions.
I was wondering if I was real. Probably hoping I wasn't.
Really don't care either way. I barely remember Merle, considering it's been at least 15 years since he's been on the show, right? Wait, this is only season 3? Are we sure that storyline on the farm didn't last for 5 seasons? Because I'm pretty sure it did.
Ain't so many of us left to share the air, right?
But how do they know this? The West Coast very well could have competent people that knew how to deal with zombie outbreaks. I can't say this enough. This thing shouldn't have lasted a week.
He wanted to keep looking, and things happened. People died.
Interesting, because things happen, people died is exactly the detailed summary for every single episode of this show.
A lot of them. Jim, Dale.
I've already had to suffer through these events Andrea is describing in what seemed like real time, so to listen to her repeat all this nonsense is giving me post-Barnes stress disorder. PBSD is a thing, right?
You had a gun on us.
Oh, who ain't had a gun on him in the past year, huh?
Sad to say, but I kind of signed with My Name is Merle here. He had no clue who they were or why they were spying on his men, and Michonne had a sword.
However we die, we all turn.
Not easy news to swallow at first, but there it is.
Well, I feel like I've heard this 37 times since Rick first brought it up in the previous season finale. Swallowed it many times over. I'm ready to start spitting instead.
Welcome to Woodbury.
Another in a series of locations our heroes can find a home in until it becomes obvious something nefarious is going on and then have to fight to escape and then be on the run again because this show is nothing if not predictable. But I'm sure that won't happen here.
Come with me.
Close enough. Roll commercials.
On the other side of town, the rest of the streets, they're all guarded like this? Can't be.
Why? Is it really that crazy to think that you could barricade a city from unintelligent, meandering, chew-happy lambs to the slaughter? This not only seems possible, but likely.
Some nicknames stick whether you want them to or not.
Buzz is a nickname, Governor's a title.
Andrea would be dead to rights at TVSins.
Can't leave them to rot. Creates an odor, makes people uneasy.
Considering the amount of dead that are already apparently all around, wouldn't the entire planet just smell like rotting meat right now? I'd think it'd be like how pet owners just get used to the smell of the pets, except in this case, the pets are piles of sentient rotting flesh.
Eileen's about to pop, so her kid will make it 74.
Can we stop saying pregnant women are about to pop? They aren't balloons. They're goddamn baby-making badasses.
I saw what your patrols do on the way in last night.
They had a dead one strung up like an ornament.
Why does it even matter? Michonne dragged 2 dead ones around with her for protection. Your crew has used the walkers for all sorts of your own purposes. Why would this indicate any kind of problem at all? 22 seconds of the walking governor. Also, this gardener is raking the only pile of debris in the entire yard to the same pile it's already in. It's like a toddler pretending to eat by pushing the food around the plate. We're on to you, buddy. Now eat your piece.
She know your brother? Daryl?
Yeah, she did.
Then talk to her again. See what else you can find out.
Even though we all know the governor is an evil asshole, the show wants to attempt to draw out some suspense with that reveal. But since Milton and Merle both know his true colors, the governor playing nice here with them really doesn't make any sense.
Take away their ability to eat, they lose interest in doing so.
They lose interest? They lose interest? Since when do walkers have thoughts about what they're interested in, but fail to follow through on them because of minor obstacles? These are zombies, not millennials.
Why keep them?
Repellent.
Camouflage.
But how exactly does this work? Zombies can't see them because of other zombies? Doesn't that mean if you're in a group of more than 3 zombies, you're automatically invisible? Is this why no one notices me at parties?
If they're not eating, why don't they starve?
They are starving. They just do it slower than we did.
Oh.
Feels like we're trying to impose logic on the chaos.
TVSins.
What's your secret?
Really big walls.
Let's soldier head walls too, and we all know how that turned out.
How would Andrea know this? She wasn't in the room with the governor earlier when he found out, and he doesn't strike me as the type to share any information he doesn't have to.
They found Wells. They got him. They found him. We sure did. We found you too.
There are so many ways this ambush doesn't make sense. First, why would you put yourself in harm's way like this when you clearly have them surrounded and ambushed anyway? The only thing you're accomplishing here is making them aware of your presence and giving away the element of surprise, just to try to earn it back. Second, because the rest of your crew is ambushing from the tree line behind them, you might as well call Clint Eastwood because you're directly in the line of fire. Third, you're telling me that none of these dozen or so well-armed persons from the ambush unit were paying enough attention to squeeze off a direct shot at you as soon as you pulled that gun? Sure, they were happy about their friend, but it would only take a split second of reaction to snap out of that. And finally, you're saying that your guys took this entire group out with immediate kill shots from that far away? Are they Terminators? I feel like they must be Terminators.
Let's see what Uncle Sam brought us, shall we?
Or at least what's left of it after we needlessly shot it all to pieces in an ill-conceived ambush that was really more of an attempt to throw an obvious twist at the audience instead of being remotely logical.
Must go faster.
Meryl, swing away.
I'm not dead.
She know your brother? Daryl?
This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
Even though he's clinging alive, he told us about his convoy on the highway. His men.
Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today.
Welcome to the Head Museum. I'm Leonard Nimoy.